She snatched the mirror from my hand and laughed. "You'll embarrass yourself if you show up like this." I hadn't even zipped my dress yet when my sister tossed her eyes at me like I was a joke. "You really thought this cheap dress and your new look would turn heads?" Mum joined in, adjusting my sister's designer dupatta. "Just try not to ruin her engagement photos, okay?" I held my breath, heart pounding, but said nothing, because I knew something they didn't. If you've ever been underestimated by your own family, this story is for you. Tap like, hit subscribe, and share this to anyone who needs a reminder. Your glow-up doesn't need approval, it just needs silence. I hadn't stepped into a parlour in 6 months. Every product I used was DIY. The dress I wore was stitched by the same tailor who did our school uniforms. And yet, when I walked into that engagement hall, people actually turned. But not for the reason I expected. "Oh my God, is that Rosie?" I heard someone whisper, their tone not mocking, but surprised. My sister's friends paused their selfies. Aunties nudged each other. I saw eyebrows raise, and not from disgust. My sister saw it too. Her smile twitched. Her eyes darted toward her fiancé, who for a moment was staring at me. And then he said it, loud enough for the people near us to hear. "You're stunning." The air shifted. Forks paused mid-air. The music suddenly felt too loud. My sister's fingers stiffened around her wineglass. Her fiancé, yes, her fiancé, was now walking straight toward me. "I didn't even recognize you," he added, softer now. "You've changed." My heart was in my throat, but I kept my voice calm. "Not really," I said. "I just stopped hiding." That's when Mum stood up from her seat and yanked my arm. "What are you trying to do?" she hissed. Steal her moment. I didn't even get a second to answer before my sister stepped in. "Of course she is. She's always been jealous of me." My face burned, but not from shame, from fury. They thought this was some accident, a lucky moment. But what they didn't know was that this had been planned for months. Every single detail, every decision, every step was part of a secret they were not ready for. And the first reveal was only seconds away. I smiled without smiling. "Relax," I said softly. "This isn't about you." My sister scoffed, but her eyes betrayed her. She was panicking. She knew something was off. And she was right, because while she was busy posting fake couple goals on Instagram, I was building something real, quietly, secretly, powerfully. And tonight, every piece of that hidden life was about to surface, starting with the man standing behind her. "Rosie," he said again, gentler this time. "Can we talk? In private?" The whole table fell silent. Her friends looked confused. Her face went pale. I tilted my head. "Sure," I said. "But you might want to ask your fiancé first." She exploded. "What the hell is wrong with you both?" Her voice cracked, drawing attention from the other guests. Mum rushed over to pull her aside, whispering something furious in her ear, but she was already breaking down. Her perfect day was unravelling, and she couldn't stop it. I walked away calmly, heels clicking on the marble, leaving behind the whispers. He followed. We stepped outside onto the balcony, where the city lights sparkled below us like a billion secrets waiting to be told. "Rosie, you look different," he said again. "Not just outside, everything about you. It's like—" I didn't let him finish. "Like I finally became someone worth looking at?" He looked down, a little ashamed. "No, like someone who knows exactly what she's doing." I took out my phone, unlocked it, and turned the screen toward him. Do you recognise this? It was a photo of him, at a party he shouldn't have been at, with a girl who wasn't my sister. His jaw tightened. Where did you get that? I didn't just glow up, I said coldly. I grew up. I stopped waiting for approval, I stopped trying to be liked, and I started paying attention. While you all were mocking me, I was watching, learning, stacking everything they thought I'd never have. His face was white now. Are you threatening me? I stepped closer. Not yet, but if you don't tell her the truth by the end of this engagement, I will. Behind us, the door burst open. My sister stood there, tears and rage painted across her face. What's going on? She shouted. What is he hiding? I turned around slowly. Why don't you ask him? And just like that, it wasn't my humiliation anymore, it was hers. But what no one knew yet, what even he didn't know, was that this was only the beginning. I hadn't just come to break their fantasy. I came to flip their entire world upside down. She slapped him, loud, sharp. And in front of 50 stunned guests, he didn't say a word, just stood there frozen as the entire engagement party went from celebration to chaos in seconds. My sister's hands were shaking. You were cheating on me! She yelled, voice breaking, mascara smudged across her face. And with her! Her! All eyes turned to me. Some pitied, some shocked, some still processing. I could feel their stares slicing through the silk of my dress, but I wasn't the same Rosie who once stood in corners invisible. I met every single gaze, calm, unbothered, unshakable. Wow, one of her friends whispered behind me. Rosie's different now. Damn right I was. Because what no one saw during those lonely years was how I stayed up learning design, freelancing silently, building my own brand while living off noodles and insults. They thought I was wasting my life. What they didn't know, I turned every insult into income, every mockery into motivation. And just 2 weeks before this event, I scolded my fashion line, a deal that made me the youngest, silent co-owner of a luxury clothing brand, the same one my sister kept bragging she'd wear at her wedding. Irony's got style. But I wasn't done, not even close. I glanced at Mom standing behind the crowd. Her eyes held no sympathy, only anger. You've embarrassed our family, she hissed quietly. That's what you do, always showing up where you're not wanted. I stepped closer to her, lowered my voice. Then maybe you should have disowned me when I begged for your love. Her lips parted, but I didn't wait for an answer. Instead, I walked to the stage, picked up the mic. Heart steady, voice sharp. Since the engagement seems to be over, I said, eyes locking on the room, let's turn this into something useful. People were confused. For me, sister fainted, right there, on the stage her wedding was supposed to be announced. Her fiancé, well, ex, didn't even move to catch her. He just stood, jaw clenched, eyes still on me like I had flipped his entire reality upside down. People rushed toward her. Aunties gasped. One of the waiters spilled champagne, and Mum, she glared at me like I'd burned down the whole family tree. This is your fault, she snapped, pulling me aside with force. You've always had to steal the spotlight, haven't you? Just like your father. That name, father, was her favourite way to cut me deep. But I didn't even blink this time. Instead, I leaned in, calm as ever. You never minded the spotlight when it was shining on your favourite daughter. You just hate that I built mine without your help. Her nostrils flared, her lips trembled. You'll regret this, Rosie. I smiled cold. I used to. Every single night I cried myself to sleep, begging for your approval. But now, I don't even want your last name. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was a text from him, the CEO who signed me. Rosie, it read, we just hit our first 1 million in pre-orders. Press wants to feature you. You ready to go public? I looked up slowly, letting that message burn into my brain. That was the same CEO who rejected me 3 years ago when I showed up to his office with a sketchbook and a stutter. And now he wanted me as the face of the brand, but I wasn't done being dramatic. So I walked back up to the mic. The music had stopped. The hall was chaos, but everyone froze when I cleared my throat. To those who doubted me, I said, thank you. Your silence taught me how to speak. Your rejection taught me how to rise. And your judgment, it bought me my first 1 million. I dropped the mic, not metaphorically, literally. It thudded, echoed, sent chills down the spine of every cousin, aunt, uncle and classmate who ever called me a loser. And then I walked off the stage, but just before I reached the door, someone yelled, Rosie, wait! I turned. It was him. My ex, my actual ex from college, the one who dumped me for being too ambitious. He looked older, balder, and way too late. Can we talk? He asked nervously. I tilted my head. Sure, I said. Book an appointment with my assistant. Then I turned, heels clicking, every step echoing power. But just when I thought the drama was done, someone else from the crowd stood up, holding a secret that would change everything. It was my uncle, Mum's older brother, the one who'd vanished from all family events years ago after some so-called business dispute. But tonight he wasn't hiding. He walked straight to the centre of the hall, took the mic I'd just dropped and cleared his throat. There's something this family has hidden for years, he said, his voice low but slicing through the air like a knife. And since Rosie has the courage to speak her truth, maybe it's time I do too. Mum's face turned pale. Enough, she shouted, stepping forward, but Uncle raised his hand and the room fell quiet. Rosie's father didn't abandon her, he said. He was forced to leave, forced by your mother, your lies, and your obsession with appearances. I felt my breath catch. For a moment, I forgot where I was. The entire ballroom blurred. What are you talking about? I asked. Uncle's eyes met mine full of regret. Your dad was a genius designer, a visionary. He started the original fashion label you're now rebuilding. But your mother, he paused, looking at her like she was poison. She stole the rights, shut him out, and told everyone he ran away. She didn't want competition for her daughter. My lips parted. You mean me? He nodded. No, I mean her. Your sister, the perfect one. Your mum tried to turn her into the next brand icon, but she couldn't even sew a button. Gasps erupted. My sister looked like the floor might swallow her. Mum looked like she'd explode. You're lying, she hissed. Am I? Uncle pulled out a folder from his coat. These are the original documents. Business registration under your father's name, designs that match Rosie's recent work because talent runs in the blood, not from some spoiled designer school in Paris. A reporter who had come to cover the engagement rushed forward. Can I get a quote from Rosie? This is going viral already. Viral, That word. It buzzed in my brain like electricity. I stepped up again, voice steady. I didn't come here to destroy anyone. I came to stand in my truth. But if exposing lies means destroying illusions, I won't apologize for that. The hall exploded with noise. People shouting, whispering, running to check their phones. But I didn't care. I walked out, this time with Uncle beside me. And as the cold air hit my face outside the hall, I turned to him and whispered, "Is he still alive?"
Uncle nodded slowly. "He's been waiting for you, Rosie." And that's when I knew. My journey was only just beginning. 3 days later, I stood at the gates of a small villa outside Florence, Italy. My hands trembled, but not from fear, from finally knowing the truth. The door opened, and there he was, my father. Older, quiet, his eyes holding 1,000 unsaid words. The moment our eyes met, something inside me broke and healed at the same time. "Rosie?" he said, like he wasn't sure if I was real. I nodded, tears falling. "I found you, Dad." We talked for hours about his stolen dreams, Mum's betrayal, and how he'd watched from afar as I unknowingly rebuilt the brand he had once created. He had saved every article, every design I made, every little mention in magazines. "You've already done more than I ever could," he said. "You didn't just take back the brand, you gave it a soul." 2 months later, the fashion world was shaken again. We exposed the corrupt practices, called out fake influencers, and revealed how the fashion world had become a playground for the privileged. The media ate it up. The same people who once laughed at my thrift store blazers now begged to wear my designs. And as for Mum and my sister, they tried to save face, claimed they'd always supported me. But the internet never forgets. Every lie, every insult, every condescending word was replayed, reposted, and roasted online. Their reputations burned. The world had seen the truth and stood with me. Now I fly private. I design for global celebrities. I run workshops for girls who've been silenced, laughed at, or underestimated, just like I was. Because this wasn't just revenge, it was rebirth. Once mocked, now a billion-dollar icon. And all it took was one night, one voice, and the courage to say,
"You're not better than me, you just thought I wouldn't fight back."
Matinas were already recording. I smiled and tapped the mic. Most of you didn't know me before today, but I know many of you. You laughed when I was struggling. You whispered when I failed. But I took that silence and turned it into something louder than your applause could ever be. And then I did the unthinkable. I pulled out a sleek black envelope. "This," I said, "is an exclusive invite to my launch party for my luxury label." I paused. "Your invites were never coming, but now you'll watch it happen, just like you used to watch me fall." The crowd gasped, phones flashed, and someone whispered, "She's not the same Rosie. She's dangerous now." I smiled, because they were finally right.